Patroclus. Patroclus is a figure from Greek mythology who fought in the Trojan War and was most famous for his close friendship with the Greek hero, Achilles. He followed Achilles to Troy and would ultimately die because of him and his actions. Patroclus' story is most famously told in Homer's 750 BC Iliad, a retelling of the Great Trojan War and one of the most epic stories of all time. He is portrayed as a kind and loyal man, loved by his comrades and cherished by Achilles. Patroclus was the son of Menoetius, one of the Argonauts and the king of Opus. His mother is usually listed as Polymele, Stheniel, Periopus or Philomela. When Patroclus was young, he accidentally killed a youth over a game of dice. As a result, he was exiled from Opus and sent to the court of King Pelias of Phthia to atone for his crime. It was in Phthia that he became inseparable from Achilles, King Pelias' son. Patroclus was older than Achilles and considered a good role model as he was a balanced, kind and thoughtful youth. According to Pseudo-Apollodorus in his Bibliotheca, Patroclus was one of the young hopefuls who hoped to marry Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world. After Helen had run off with Paris of Troy and war had been declared between the Greek city-states and Troy, Patroclus followed Achilles to the Trojan shores. Patroclus was caring and sensible, while Achilles was hot-headed and impatient. So it was thought that Patroclus would keep him in line and be a good influence. Throughout the Iliad, Patroclus is portrayed as Achilles' right-hand man, often carrying out chores for him. However, he plays a more prominent role after Achilles argues with King Agamemnon of Mycenae over his slave lover Briseis and after he refuses to fight anymore, just to spite Agamemnon. In Book 11, a sulking Achilles sent Patroclus to find out which of the Greeks had been wounded after he saw Nestor, the king of Pylos, escorting a few men back into the Greek camp. Patroclus was warmly welcomed by Nestor and was asked and Achilles would come to the aid of his fellow Achaeans. He reminded Patroclus about how he found him at Achilles' side when he went to Phthia to recruit Achilles for the Trojan War and how King Pelias had counted on him to guide Achilles, telling Patroclus that he may be the only one who could change Achilles' mind about fighting. As Patroclus rushed back to Achilles, determined to convince him to fight again, he came across the injured Thessalian king Eurypylus, who told Patroclus how badly the Greeks were suffering on the battlefield. Patroclus cleaned his wound and stopped the bleeding. He was still in King Eurypylus' tent when he heard the Trojans storm the wall and ran off to tell Achilles everything he had learnt about the ongoing battle.